Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. It is October, and yes, I've been away quite a bit. Um, Still dealing with my own journey, doing things that I need to do for myself to make myself ready to do the things that I need to do. Um, Today, I want to talk about where you get your advice from on your journey, not so much as just who you take it from, but where you get it from. I noticed a lot that I did speak on this before about how we take to social media and get that advice. But here's the thing. A lot of the people that we take on social media, some of them haven't even had the journey that you're on. Some of them haven't had the situation in their life of the passage that you're going through. Some of them have not even been in stable relationships, had a bad breakup, went through PTSD, any of the things that you're looking for advice on, which then becomes a problem because now you're taking someone at just the education value. Not saying that's not important. It's very important to be educated on your field, but it's also important to know and be able to have that empathy for what that person is going through. So case in point is this. You're young. You're trying to get out here. You're trying to do things. You're trying to build a life. You're just starting out on a journey. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I have never had that type of young adult relationship where I've had people that I would go to for advice. My young adult life, I was in the military, so I had the military telling me what to do. After the military, I got married early on, so then I had a husband who dictated the relationship. And I really had not lived life until it became apparent of how my life was going. I had issues that on my journey that I had to face that you didn't have back then, that you could openly go and talk to someone who had been through those same issues or that was openly willing to share those issues. So now we're in an age of everything is internet, social media. Everybody has a comment. Everybody knows what's going to happen. Everybody knows what you're supposed to be doing. But here's my thing. If you have not walked that path, you can't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. So I may listen to some of the things you say. You may have the education on it, but when it comes down putting that full bearing on life, if you have not had that experience, you trying to explain to me how to get out of it, how to walk through it, how to grow from it, I need you to find me someone who has. You telling me that this is why my life is the way it is through a book is bull, because life is not based on a book. Each day you get up, there's some factors in books and education. When it comes to budgeting your money, awesome thing to have, awesome thing to work towards. When it comes to putting on makeup, when it comes to cooking a meal, when it comes to putting together a bike or changing oil on the car, all those things are educational, come through fine. But when it comes to life, that's a different field. You can't tell me at 20 where to take my life when you just started living. See, we forget that we are so busy looking at the social aspect of what everybody that we are looking and watching and taking advice from. We're looking at their social aspect, their material aspect. But what happens when they close their door? Are they the same people that are living the same advice they are giving? Have they faced any of the things that they're trying to tell you about? I mentioned before a young lady that was telling young men and women, or even some older men and women, that they had a Jezebel demon. My problem is this. Don't get so caught up and what society is telling you. At some point, you have to look at your life journey. You have to sit down and look at your life journey, not everybody else's, because you're going to have a comparison. We all have comparisons. We all cross in different paths and lanes. And yes, we have some similarities, but your journey is going to be totally different from somebody else's. And anyone that has not had that journey yet, or anyone that is still afraid to say they have had that journey, those are not people that we should be listening to for advice. It is the ones that are willing to come out and say, hey, I've been in an abusive relationship. Hey, I have PTSD. Hey, I've had suicidal thoughts. And this is what I had to do. And this is what I did. And this is what I went through. And this is how I got there. We have to come off of this all-knowing attitude. No one knows everything. I'm 59 years old. Shut up, kids. I am 59 years old, and the point of me saying that is this. I learn something new every day. Not once in a while, but every day. And the minute that you say, I'm done learning, guess what? You become a know-it-all. No one wants to listen to a know-it-all. You may think they do, but they don't. I'm not going to tell you that you can't learn something from young people. I've learned a lot from my children, their wives, watching them and their wives. Because see, I never had a good relationship. I wasn't taught what it took to build a good relationship. The relationships I saw around me, there was arguing, there was fighting. After my grandfather passed away, I didn't see any interaction with longevity couples. I did with my Aunt Mary and Uncle Joe. They were stable, but there weren't a lot of stable relationships. Mama Helen and Daddy Lester, awesome couple. I called them my mom and dad because they took me in and gave me stability where I never knew anything about what real stability was. And it still was a struggle for me even after I left them. So when people sit and tell you, and I really want people to understand, I'm not saying don't take advice. What I'm saying is I see so many of you just jump on the bandwagon of somebody because they got a blue check by their name. I just realized I can get a blue check. I got one on Twitter. Plan on getting one on Facebook. But the bottom line is I can't tell you everything. I can't tell you how your journey is going to end out. I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. Because in the end, when I faced my abusers, I had to find a way for me to safely and effectively walk away. I can't tell you how to do that in your life. I can tell you what I did. We can sit down and have that conversation. But that move for me may not work for you. We all have our own journeys. We all have our own passages to go through. And the minute the experts start saying this is the only way that you can get it done, they're fooling themselves, because there's no one concrete way. If there was, everybody would be rich, everybody would be healthy, there would be no PTSD, no one would have depression, no one would think suicidal thoughts, no one would be in inner conflict, no one would have any bad relationships with their parents, with their children, with their friends, with their work, that everybody would be always happy. So evidently that's not true. It's good to have the education, but you got to want to have the life. It takes more than you looking at the books. because the books don't have all the answers. If we did, we'd have perfect children. If we did, we have perfect parents. Do you know how many books I read because I had no idea of what it was to be a parent? I'm a reader. That's all I ever did. I call myself preparing myself before I had kids. I call myself trying to prepare myself when I had kids. I call myself trying to prepare myself after my children have kids. And I still don't get everything right. Guess what? I'm human. I'm human. I'm not based off a book. Only thing that I know that does work is communication. And it has to be honest. And it has to be respectful. That is the one thing that I have found that every advisor has said that is true. But it took me learning. It didn't take me listening to everybody. It took me learning, finding out for myself. I would rather someone be honest with me and let me make my own choice than someone to lie to me constantly. Because once I know you're lying, I may act like I don't. But guess what? There is nothing in me but waiting for me to go ahead and be done with our journey together, because it must be a lesson I got to learn. So what I'm trying to tell you today is live your life. Live it fully. Take advice. But understand, the advice is advice. You still have to live and go through your journey. No one can change that. The only person that can change and do the job and get to the accomplishment and make your destiny and your purpose is you. And whoever you call your higher power. That's all it is. So I hope you all have an awesome Sabbath today. For those of you who celebrate the Sabbath on sunset on Saturday, I hope you had a glorious Sabbath. But I want you all to start this week off with knowing that each day that you wake up is the new beginning of your journey. And you have to do it full force. Peace and one love. This is the Legacy Reborn, Celisa J. Ridgeway Tucker. I love you.